When we found this poorly baby hedgehog, we didn't know whether he was going to live or die.
And we didn't know it was the beginning of a story that was going to keep us obsessed for over a year.
So will the baby hedgehog survive?
What was it that made us so obsessed?
And what exactly is a 2-for-1 hedgehog deal?
Watch to find out.
So we found this little hedgehog. Mike nearly drove over it and it wasn't moving, and it's daytime and it shouldn't be out in the day, and it's possibly too small to survive, so we're going to ring the hedgehog rescue and see what we're supposed to do.
We did what we could to keep the hedgehog warm and then gingerly picked it up to weigh it.
Hello little snufflings. So I'm going to weigh it on my kitchen scales. And it weighs 220 grams.
Leave him there. Okay.
I'm going to put him in a box. We've put in... Once he was weighed, we put him into a box with a hot water bottle, and then we covered him with some fleece. We called our local hedgehog rescue centre, and they told us that he was very small and might not survive, but they'd do their very best to help.
As we were in lockdown, we arranged to meet rescuer Lisa Chapman in a village street near where she was based.
220 grams, is that quite small?
That is small for this time of the year, yes. We're taking in sort of 400 grams and under at the moment, because they wouldn't survive either.
Well, that's good to know.
Bless him. Yes.
Now, do you know it's a him?
Let's have a look. He's going to let me. Yes, it's a little boy.
Oh.
It is.
So do you think he's got a good
Very
chance?
little lucky fella.
Do you think he's got a good chance?
He should have a good chance. We can't always guarantee, but yes, I will try my absolute best. I'll pop him on the hot water bottle around it.
Oh, and how will you look after him? Will you?
I'll wait for a poo sample, and I'll check his poo, and then we'll see what parasites are going on inside, and then I will treat as appropriate. Sometimes they have a really heavy burden. And they're just not strong enough.
Oh.
It's just one of those things. Some of them pull through, some of them don't.
Oh wow.
So it's...
Let us know. We were really worried that our poor little hoglet wasn't going to make it. We decided to call him Barry, and we pestered Lisa every day for updates on how he was.
Lisa kept him at her rescue centre for several months over the winter, battling the parasites that were killing him and feeding him up to give him the best chance of survival in the spring.
Finally, we got a call from Lisa to say that he was ready to come home, and we could come and collect him and bring him back and release him at our place.
Then we met in the street again for the handover.
And I've had Britt and Barry for...
What?
Who and Barry?
Who was Brit?
It turns out that Lisa had given us a 2-for-1 hedgehog deal.
She had so many rescues to release that she gave us a female that had been found in a street in a local town. She thought our place was more rural and suitable to release it back into.
Lisa had managed to nurse the baby hedgehogs to 4 times their weight they were when she first got them.
And they are now a whopping 1253 and 979 grams.
So Barry's still smaller?
Barry's still smaller, and Britt seems to be the winner with the weight. She's really put on loads of weight. And they've been outside for a week before, so they've already been out in their outside pens to get used to the temperatures. So they'll be fine to be released now. So yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
So Barry and Britt had lungworm and roundworm, which are 2 types of parasites which hedgehogs get. So they had treatment for that. And they've obviously come through the other side, and they're fit, well and healthy now. So
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
So we put them in their release box and took them out into the garden.
Right, we're going to get them out, decant them into their home for the night. Now at the moment, all we know is that Barry is smaller than Brit. Oh, they are big. Hello. Hello. So I think this is Brit, but I couldn't swear to it. I hope you don't. Oh, come on. Come on. Don't know who this is. It's very prickly. Have we got the front of the back? I think that might be Brit. I think this might be Barry. It's hard to tell. Oh no, I think that's Barry. This one's bigger. I think there's a nose. Or is it a bottom?
That's a nose.
Should have worn gloves.
That prickly.
They are that prickly. Come on.
No, that's the bigger one. Well,
I'm not sure the lid's going to go on. Box of hedgehogs.
We watched and filmed for a while, but they didn't come out straight away, so we just left them to it.
We think Barry was the first one out. And then along comes Brit, having a sniff around and exploring her new home.
Now that Brit and Barry were safe, we began to hope that they would stay in our grounds, and maybe that they'd even breed and have loads of other little hoglets.
But for that to happen, we had to spot them together. We put trap cameras out in different places every night, hoping we'd see them together.
But it turns out hedgehogs are loners and don't really like each other. Any accidental meeting can turn into a fight. We only spotted them together once. Here's Barry curling up into a defensive ball as Brit walks past.
But we weren't going to give up that easily. We'd put food out every night, and then we put out a hedgehog house in the hope that at least one of them might start living in it.
The food kept disappearing every night, but looking at the camera trap footage, we realised we were feeding the whole neighbourhood. Like these battling bank voles, this robin and this pheasant.
But one night our patience finally paid off. Eventually along came Barry, eating out the bowls and also moving into the hedgehog house.
Barry appeared often after that, but it seemed the only thing he shared the food with was this local farm cat.
And then Brit appeared. There they both were, Brit to the right, Barry behind. This was great news.
And they even shared the same bowl, although Barry did grumpily barge it to get more of Brit's food.
We were now more hopeful than ever that we would soon hear the patter of tiny hedgehog feet.
Watch part 2 and 3 of this series to find out what happens next.